Thank you, Razia, and good afternoon. I am Amani Jamal. I am the Dean of the Princeton School of Public and International Affairs. It is my pleasure to welcome you to today's Dean's Leadership Series event. I extend a special welcome to our honored guest, Your Excellency, Dr. Mohamed Muizzu, the 8th President of the Republic of Maldives. It is always a privilege to host a head of state, and we are grateful to you, Excellency, for taking the time to join us today. We are also honored to welcome several distinguished members of His Excellency's government who are with us today, including His Excellency Minister of Foreign Affairs, His Excellency Permanent Representative of the Maldives to the United Nations, and His Excellency the Maldives Ambassador to the United States. I also want to acknowledge the U.S. Ambassador to the Maldives, Ambassador Hugh Gagnon, who is a Princeton SPIA alum. Welcome. Your Excellency, your country is a place of great natural beauty and rich ecological diversity, especially in its marine life. I am interested in learning more about your sustainability efforts in the face of climate change. Thanks as well to all of you for being with us today for what will be a thought-provoking discussion with our own Razia Iqbal. I know you're eager, as I am, to learn more about His Excellency's experiences and more about the Maldives. It is now my privilege to present Natalie Chung, a first-year PhD student in Science, Technology, and Environmental Policy here at SPIA, who will introduce His Excellency, Dr. Mohamed Muizzu. Natalie, the floor is yours. Thank you so much for being here.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Natalie Chung. I'm a first-year PhD student at SPIA, focusing my research on climate change adaptation in coastal communities. It is my distinct honor to introduce His Excellency, President Dr. Muizzu of the Republic of Maldives. His Excellency President Dr. Muizzu is the 8th President of the Republic of Maldives. He took his oath of office on the 17th of November, 2023. He received his PhD in civil engineering from the University of Leeds, the United Kingdom, and he has also attained Project Management Professional PMP certification from the Americas Project Management Institute, the PMI. His Excellency's government service began in March 1998, with his first job as the Construction and Public Works Planning Technician trainee at the Ministry of Construction and Public Works. In addition to serving in the government, His Excellency also served in some key positions in the private sector. He served as the Ministry of Housing and Infrastructure from February 2012 to November 2018, which marked unprecedented success in the completion of multiple land reclamation, harbor development, water and sewerage projects across the atolls. His Excellency is also the first mayor of the Malé city to be elected through a direct vote of residents in the capital, Malé city. He served 2 years and 6 months as the Malé city's mayor from May 2021 to November 2023. His Excellency, during his presidential campaign, pledged to ensure the freedom and security of Maldivians, justice, equality among the people. He pledged to uphold the value of Islam and patriotism, and to bring a new era of development to the nation. Let's give His Excellency, President Dr. Muizzu, a warm welcome to Princeton SPIA.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, Natalie. Dean Amani Jamal, Senior Leadership of the University, United States Ambassador to the Maldives, His Excellency Hugo Yon, dear students and faculty members. Thank you for your warm welcome. If you have ever bought a product which was delivered through global container shipping, there's a good chance it came through my neighborhood. If you have ever operated a machine which consumes imported oil, there's a good chance that it went through my neighborhood. And if you have ever gazed at idyllic scenes of island life described as heaven on earth, it's very likely that you were looking at my neighborhood. I came from a small island nation in one of the most strategic parts of the world. As every student of politics knows, the size of a country and its impact are not always the same. But the Maldives wasn't always recognized for its strategic importance. It has been and is undergoing a rapid transformation. Let me take you back just a few decades, 59 years to be precise. The Maldives had just regained its independence. We were a young and an impoverished nation. Not many people had even heard of the Maldives. In fact, when we submitted our application to the UN, some delegations had to reach for their almanac to search for the country. Today, the story is a bit different. The Maldives, by any measure, is a development success story. Our white sandy beaches, our clear blue waters, the gardens of life under our seas are known to the world. We are a strengthening democracy, striving for resilience. I assumed office as the president of Maldives last November. I made a pledge to the Maldivian people that I will, God willing, transform the country into an inclusive and prosperous society. It wasn't too long ago that I was in your seats as a student. As Natalie mentioned, I obtained my doctorate degree in civil engineering across the pond in Britain at the University of Leeds. And before that, I did my degree and master's from the same field at University College London. It was a time I cherished deeply. I was very happy to be at a university. I'm very happy to be at a university environment again. This time at one of the highest ranked academic institutions in the world. The haven where Einstein made so many thought experiments. The lab where some of the most brilliant minds turned entrepreneurial ideas into reality. Hence, I thank Princeton for this opportunity to speak here today. It is indeed an honor. Princeton University and its School of Public and International Affairs are a beacon of the principles of governance and society admired around the world. Principles of equality, justice, and respect for basic human rights. In these dark days of war, genocide in Gaza, the suppression of human rights, the normalization of violence against civilians, even children, it is vital US institutions continue to uphold these principles themselves. Universities must remain bastions of thought and expression, respecting the right to protest peacefully, responsibly, and in a manner that is constructive for society. I'm here in the United States representing the Maldives at the UN General Assembly. It was just a few days ago on September 21st that the Maldives celebrated the 59th anniversary of its membership at the UN. We joined the world body just 56 days after we regained our independence. For the Maldives, UN membership was crucial for recognition, for acceptance. In October 1965, just 3 months after our independence, US President Lyndon Johnson announced his intention to nominate Cecil Burton Lyon to serve as ambassador to the Maldives. This was a decision that was of enormous diplomatic significance for the young country. The relationship between the Maldives and the United States is crucial in upholding a rule-based international order in the Indian Ocean. Now, some of you might wonder why a partnership between one of the smallest countries in the world and a superpower would be so important. Well, the answer lies in the changing tides in the Indian Ocean. The sea lines of communication in the Indian Ocean are crucial to global trade and energy security. 1/3 of all the international bulk cargo traffic goes through the Indian Ocean. Over 75% of trade between Asia and Europe goes through the Indian Ocean. Over 50% of the world's daily oil consumption passes through the Indian Ocean. So clearly,
an important region. In the middle of the Indian Ocean sits the Maldives, occupying over 90,000 square kilometers. The most frequent routes in the Indian Ocean are either passing through the Maldives or just above it. So, anyone who would like to have a say and sway the balance of power in the Indian Ocean would find the Maldives an attractive place to influence. We in the Maldives are keenly aware of this. That's why during last year's presidential election, I made a pledge to uphold and strengthen the Maldives' sovereignty and independence. The respect for sovereignty and independence, the respect for sovereignty and sovereign equality among states are the fundamental principles on which today's international order rests and the multilateral system operates. Applying these principles at regional level, we in the Maldives recognize the importance of upholding rule-based order in the Indian Ocean. And we value our part in it. That is why I promised my fellow Maldivians that I will invest in our capacity to contribute and lead global effort in strengthening an international order based on the principle of multilateralism, so that we may above all safeguard our sovereignty and independence. It is vital for the world that small island states do indeed thrive and prosper. Their interactions with the natural and environmental ecosystems are crucial for the world. We are often the front line of man's relationship with the environment, and sometimes a bellwether of things to come for other parts of the world. Small island states are believed to support 20% of the world's terrestrial biodiversity. They host 40% of the world's coral reefs. They are at the forefront of research and testing in climate change adaptation, valuable not only to themselves, but to the wider humanity. They are custodians of critical local knowledge in how to manage and conserve marine resources. The world, our lives, would simply not be the same without them. Since I assumed office, the Maldives has stepped up its advocacy for immediate action in managing the climate crisis and reforming the international financial architecture to help small island developing states known as SIDS access climate adaptation finance at affordable rates. The Maldives was privileged to co-chair the intergovernmental negotiations, which helped SIDS for the next 10 years, the program of action for the next 10 years. We have forged a constructive partnership with the Secretariat of the UN Conference on Trade and Development to help SIDS in building their productive capacity. And we will continue to leverage the Maldives leadership that gains respect and is increasingly relevant and resilient. We seek to achieve these objectives by first diversifying our economy. We'll expand our sources of revenue. To do that, we are seeking and attracting more foreign investment into the country. To facilitate that, I've already taken steps to reform the foreign investment promotion and protection regime. Last month, the Maldives Parliament passed a new Foreign Investment Act. We are embarking on a digital transformation program and the use of artificial intelligence. We are supporting micro, small, and medium enterprises through small loans, specially targeted towards the youth, women, and disabled persons. We are expanding our tourist source markets. Last year, the US was the 6th largest market. This year, we target to welcome more than 2 million tourists to our country. To achieve this, our international airport expansion project is being accelerated to expand its carrying capacity. Second, the Maldives will amplify its leadership and advocacy for stronger action to prevent a climate disaster. The Maldives is synonymous with environmental conservation efforts, sustainability, and climate action. We've been sounding the alarm of sea level rise for decades. The Maldives initiated and hosted the very first international conference on small states. That gathering adopted the 1989 Malé Declaration, which identified specific actions to slow down global warming. We've stepped up and increased our ambitions on climate action since. We are on track to generate 33% of our electricity through renewable energy by 2028. We are experimenting with floating solar panels and investing in better waste management as well. We are planning to develop smart, climate-friendly, and sustainable urban centers in various parts of the country. This includes the development of a new island called Ras Malé, which would become an eco-city, a smart city where innovation will thrive. With the Ras Malé initiative, we are also transforming our society into one where women and youth play the lead roles in driving the economy and in nation building. Third, we'll strengthen our democracy and state capacity. It's only been 16 years since the Maldives transitioned to a multi-party democracy. By every measure, we are still a young democracy. Our institutions need to be matured further. Our government, our society, and the entire system needs to be free from corruption. And this work is continuing, especially with the support of our partners, such as the United States. This support is necessary for the Maldives, for the US, and for the future order of the Indian Ocean. For this order to be decided at its geographical midpoint, which is where the Maldives sits. It is indeed the place where the destinies of the Indian Ocean and that of the major trade routes of the world will be decided. A prosperous, strong, and fiercely independent Maldives is important to us all and everyone. I thank you.
Mr. President,
Sorry.
do come and join me. Thank you very much for the speech. Thank you. It's wonderful to have you here. I want to start by speaking about climate change. Your republic, your country, is a set of atolls, islands spread across 35,000 square miles. In fact, you have said you are essentially 99% water and 1% land. In that context, and you've mentioned it in your talk just now, what is it that you can do to change that financial architecture for a country like yours, which is liable for just 0.003% of global emissions, and yet is at the very edge of an existential crisis as a result of climate change? What is it that you want to change in terms of the financial compensation, the financial architecture, the money that you might have access to help you build resilience inside the Maldives?
Well, thank you very much. I think it's a very relevant question, especially at this time in the UN. A lot of talk has been going on this. And actually, it's been going on for a long time. I went to COP28 earlier, and also, it's always been talked about, but action is what's lacking. As you rightly mentioned, carbon emission by Maldives is 0.003%, which is barely nothing. But we are at the receiving end of all the damage, all the risks that we have to go through. Our corals get bleaching problem. Even a few months back, we had this problem across the country, and nobody's coming to pay us. We are at the wrong end of this, and our fishes, our underwater beauty is what's unique for us. The tourism is based on that, and the beaches, the white sandy beaches and the underwater beauty is being affected badly. But let me first tell this to everyone and dear students. We are here to stay, the Maldives. Our resilience, our resolve is very strong. We've been here for
thousands of years. I mean, we will struggle, but we need help. Climate adaptation is the way forward. I mean, we have been talking about this. Islands are getting eroded. I mean, there are cyclic erosions going on, seasonal erosions, but it's changing into more fierce effects on the islands. Our local government budget is not enough to build shore protection on all these islands. I mean, we need help, and the water lens in the islands depleting, and we have to build clean water storage mechanisms, networks. The roads needs to be paved or properly surfaced, and it's all needing help. And housing problem as well. We have got 1,100 islands, but 200 of them, 186 of them are inhabited. Even though it's less compared to the amount of islands we have got, it's a lot of islands we have to manage.
It's wonderful to hear you talk about your resolve that the Maldives is going nowhere and that you are determined that this existential crisis will be met, the challenges that you face will be met. I wonder, though, if there is an acknowledgement that, or even a plan in place that you are willing to implement a retreat inside the Maldives if you need to.
Well, we believe in sustainable development. We cannot carry on developing or focusing on all the 186 islands I was just mentioning. So our plan is to have urban centers across the country, the capital region, and some in the north, some in the south, like few urban centers where we consolidate housing, enough stock of housing, job opportunities, all the industries focusing on this area, so people can, over time, these pull factors will enable the population to be consolidated in these specific areas. We have to be realistic. Of course, we need help, but we have to have our own solutions as well. So we are embarking on a 20-year national development plan. The work
And is
has
Ras
started.
Malé part of that?
Ras Malé is part of that. Yes, Ras Malé is, we are reclaiming a lagoon just about 15 minutes speedboat ride from Malé, which is going to be actually the second artificial island in the Maldives. The first one is Hulu Malé.
Which was 2 meters above sea level, and this is
Yes.
going to be 3 meters.
3 meters above, and this is going to be a safe island in all the international standards. And we hope the international community, the donors, will help us to build this one, because this is going to be a safe island, fully managed by renewable energy sources, and a smart city with AI and digital technologies. That's our plan. That's our concept for this. And other parts of the country as well, we want to focus the development. And so I think that's the way forward. And with this 20-year national development plan, which will be conducted with help from international agencies as well, the UN and so on, we will target our development. Yes, a few days ago in my debate, I announced that our vision is to become a full-fledged developed country by 2040. Now we are in the upper level of developing countries. So we think we can do this, but we need the help of the different donors and multilateral system and countries to help us to have an all-around full-fledged solution to address the climate issue.
Can I ask you about something that you ran on your presidential campaign over, which was an attempt to potentially move away from the close relationship the Maldives has had with your very large neighbor, India, and look much more to China. I wonder if China, in the context of climate change, given that you have just signed 20 agreements with Xi Jinping during your recent visit, whether China figures in the help that you are seeking with building climate change resilience.
Well, thank you very much for this topic you just touched upon. Our foreign policy has always been, from the day I announced my campaign, it's always been Maldives first. We are never
But
against
it was
any
also
country.
India out, right?
No,
Wasn't it?
India, no, it's not India out. We had a really serious problem of having the presence of foreign military in our country.
Not many, 77 Indian soldiers?
Even one foreign military personnel in the Maldives is not something that the Maldivian people accept. But being them coming from India doesn't mean we are against India. The foreign military personnel were from India. If they were from any other country, it will be the same problem. So the issue we had, it has been very diplomatically coordinated and with the full support of Indian government and the diplomatic channels, the diplomatic work, it's been solved. All the foreign military personnel from India has been taken away and it has been replaced by civilians operating the helicopters and so on.
But it was tricky. You must acknowledge it was tricky, not least because two of your ministers had to resign before your visit to Delhi to meet Prime Minister Modi because they had described him as a clown. I mean, these are difficult things to finesse diplomatically.
Well, nobody should say such things. I mean, I definitely took action on that, and I'll not tolerate anything to be said against anybody, whether it's a simple person or a leader. Every human has dignity, so nobody should be allowed to say things at others the way he or she wants to say. I mean, everyone has got his or her own dignity. So I took the action, and it's been dealt with.
You talked about the possible ways in which you, as a small island, would be able to cooperate with the United States, for example. So I'm going to ask the question again because I'm not convinced you answer it. Is China part of your plan to build climate resilience inside the Maldives? Is China going to help you in very specific ways beyond those 20 agreements that you signed?
Yes, China is going to help us in all the development projects we sign with China. Is definitely taking into account the environmental problems we have got. So definitely they are going to help. And also India and also the United States and other countries who are helping us. All of the countries and all the multilateral partners and agencies, they work with us taking into account the environmental vulnerabilities we are facing, because we cannot shut our eyes to this reality. We need the help. We can see what's happening. And for example, in Malé city, the capital city, the frequency of tidal surges is increasing. And we don't want to see this happening. I mean, it's happening because of global environmental changes that's happening because of some things we are not responsible for. So all the development assistance we are getting from countries and multilateral agencies, World Bank, and so on, it's always taking into account the environmental issues, how to address these issues.
I just want to ask one final question about, in the context of climate change, what specifics you would like to see in terms of the financial architecture that you think needs to change? What would you say to those countries that can clearly afford it, but are still not putting money in that pot that will help the countries like your own who suffer the most when it comes to climate change? And it's the really wealthy ones that, on the whole, are the ones creating the emissions that is causing the difficulties for much smaller countries.
Well, I think those who are guilty of this problem should take the responsibility and take us on board and accept us as partners, not just as recipients. I touched upon this in the speech I gave as well. We are partners. This is one single community, and we are ready to do our part as a responsible partner.
We are delighted that you are here at Princeton, and I know that clearly you're on the East Coast of America because you attended the United Nations General Assembly, and at the General Assembly, you were not the only leader of a country that openly and really quite strongly, in very strong terms, criticized the state of Israel. I wonder if you can say something about whether you think that makes any difference. You mentioned in your talk this idea of multilateralism, you talked about the rules-based order, you talked about the importance of countries recognizing basic human rights, the United States in particular, adhering to the basic principles of human rights. There does seem to be a paradigm shift in terms of countries that we now call the Global South, who are speaking out, are very vocal, are critical of Israel's actions inside Gaza and now Lebanon. Do you think it makes any difference? I mean, I said you were not alone as a leader who made a speech that was critical of Israel. The King of Jordan made a very strong speech. The President of Turkey,
Yes.
President Erdogan, made a very strong speech. I wonder to what extent you think that shifts the dial in any way.
See, those who have got the decision-making power, I believe, are at the Security Council with the veto power. Those 5 countries with the veto power has to accept the truth that justice needs to be served to the Palestinians, just like everybody else. We are all humans equal, and everyone has the right to live. Everyone has the right to belong to an independent state. Women, children being killed every day is nothing that should be accepted. So those with the veto power, the United Nations Security Council, needs to take this responsibility and change the course. It's not me or President Erdogan or King Abdullah or many other heads of states who clearly talked about this in this General Assembly and for many years. It's the whole world, to be honest. So we need to take this into reality, take this reality to the table, and for once do the right thing.
Well, when you talk about the veto power that the 5 members of the Security Council have, it isn't just what happens inside the United Nations. If you have the support of the United States as well as countries inside the European Union and the United Kingdom supporting Israel, what leverage do countries who don't agree with the position that they have taken have?
I think if the whole United Nations is going to, we can see that when everyone is speaking about this, the support, the applause we get for the Palestinian cause is very clear. I think if all the powerful countries work together with everyone else and bring justice to the Palestinian people, it's nothing difficult. It's very clear how everything is unfolding in front of our eyes. And if we are going to go into a dark age where even now what's happening is more serious, journalists being killed, the media being shut out, it's never been like this before. There were instances in the past, but now it's at an alarming rate. So the world is being shut out from seeing what's happening. So it should be done right now, and it's for the humanity, the whole humanity.
You just said in your last remarks that it was clear what was happening and that it's not a difficult thing to solve, and yet it has been an intractable problem for so many decades. Who do you think holds the key?
I think United States can play the biggest role.
And you would want the United States to do what specifically?
Just accept the truth that Palestinians also deserve the right to have their independent state. And they, just like Israel and other countries, every single human has the right to live and have the right to belong to an independent state. Nobody can say that, but not even a single Palestinian has to be at the wrong end of the gun. Everyone has to be living in a peaceful world.
Mr. President, thank you for now for being in conversation with me. We have some time for questions, and do please raise your hands, and please don't make statements. Questions are so much more welcome. I'd like to ask Dean Amani Jamal to start the questions off for us, if you would.
Thank you, His Excellency. That was an amazing conversation and speech. Thank you very much. I have 2 questions. One is, as a small nation championing, the fight against climate change and rising sea waters, there was a lot of talk about basically 80% of the emissions are caused by many countries in the G20. And a lot of the small countries who are sort of incurring the costs are not responsible for the emissions, a point that Razia also pointed out. Are you finding that that message is resonating with countries that can afford to help? I know that part of the development plan is to seek additional investment and help, but is there really a global commitment to say, for example, that yes, this is something that the world caused, and we are at the doorstep to help ensure that the Maldives does not go underwater? That's the first question. The second question concerns a point that you were just discussing right now. About 10 years ago, a Muslim ban was imposed in the United States under the presidency of Donald Trump, and I know that many members in the Muslim community were basically rattled by that. They were worried about traveling back and forth to the United States, so they were worried about family and friends coming to the US. We have many students who also have family and friends in Israel. And I know that the Maldives had imposed a ban on Israelis, but then walked that back. But what would you tell our students who still are worried and anxious about this decision?
Thank you. For the first question, I'm very optimistic, to be honest, that I see the emitters, let's say, the emitters of compared to the past, they are taking this more seriously. I've attended the Antigua and Barbuda Seeds Conference. I went to the COP28, and here I see there's progress being made. We are being taken more seriously, the small island developing states especially. And in general, every country that's been affected by environmental issues, the climate issues, are being taken more positively. And I think I'm quite sure that the loss and damage fund, for example, is going to be operationalized for real. I'm quite positive and optimistic about we going to be getting going from the phase of not getting any assistance to the phase of okay, now there's going to be some meaningful assistance that we are going to receive in the short term. So I'm very positive about this. And COP29 is coming next month. I'm going to attend there as well, and very hopeful that it's going to be even more beneficial to all the countries that's affected by climate issues. Regarding the second question, no, we haven't walked back from our decision of banning Israeli passports. It's in the parliament. And the thing is, we just want the world, I just was talking just now, to acknowledge that every single Palestinian has the right as just everyone else. When Israel is going on carrying out these atrocities, these crimes against the Palestinians, there should be a unified effort by all the countries, everyone to say no to this. And the Maldives, being a very small country without enough power to do anything about this compared to the powerful countries in the United Nations Security Council and so on, we are ready to do anything we can, and we decided to put in this ban, and it's going to be implemented as soon as it's passed by the parliament. So we are not changing, but everyone has to be has to get they should feel the right to live peacefully being implemented. So the Maldives will definitely play its part as a responsible nation, and we will never go against these principles of right to live peacefully.
Just a quick follow-up from that. You don't think that making that decision is counterproductive, because it's quite possible, and it has already happened, that you are facing allegations of being anti-Semitic?
No, I don't think that's right. We are not like that. We are a very friendly country with everyone, and I believe that everyone is equal. Every human being is equal, and they should have the right to live. Everyone is a dignified human being.
Okay, let's open up the questions to the floor. Let's go here first, and the gentleman in the hat afterwards, and then the gentleman here. Then the lady right at the back.
Muizzu, to touch on this previous point in a way that not been properly examined. Your government only initially proposed to simply ban all Israelis from entering the Maldives. After a few weeks, your government decided that a blanket ban would not suffice, seeing as there would be a great number of Palestinian Israeli passport holders affected by the ban. Your attorney general, in discussing an amendment to the ban, said, quote, "What I am saying is that it is a matter of great concern for some people that the way the bill has been introduced, it will ban even Palestinians." The message, of course, was clear. Only Jewish Israelis are not welcome in the Maldives, despite, as you said today, your desire to create a, quote, inclusive society. How can you justify your government's actions as anything other than anti-Semitic? And relatedly, you have said that Hamas's efforts should not be linked to terrorism under any circumstances, but as recently as Tuesday to the United Nations, you said that Israel was committing acts of terrorism. How can you justify either of these sorts of actions as anything other than anti-Semitic?
Thank you.
I think you taking it in the wrong angle. I think what I said is very clear. The ban that we have been discussing and put in the parliament is an attempt, a genuine attempt to say that what is happening in Israel taking place in Palestine is not right. It's nothing against Jews or any religion. Right and wrong doesn't have to belong to any religion. So Jews or Christians, Muslims, everyone is welcome to the Maldives. Everyone. And the whole tourism industry is mainly everyone who's coming to the Maldives. Most of them are not from the Islamic countries. They're coming from Europe, they're coming from the United States, and from everywhere. So we welcome them all. It's nothing to do with religion. It's right and wrong. So when somebody is doing the wrong thing, it has to be wrong. I really hope that this message is clear. Even Jews, Muslims, Christians, and people not belonging to any religion, everyone is welcome to the Maldives.
Just to also answer that second part of the question, the accusing Israel of terrorism, and I think that was the second part of the question.
Now, this is a very deep and big debate if we start. I mean, what I said when we were discussing just now, every single human being has a dignified life. So it means Palestinians or Israelis and anybody else. So killing is wrong by anybody. Nobody has the right to kill anybody, not even say anything against anybody. I think I said it regarding another question. No, when we were talking about our minister saying something against Prime Minister Modi, even uttering a word that is disrespectful to somebody else is wrong, let alone. And how can killing be right? Nobody has the right to kill anybody. I think it's very clear my stand on this. Nobody can.
Thank you very much. So I wanted to continue on the loss and damage discussion. So one of the loss and damage discussion. So one of the things that's relevant, of course, in the LDF is of the loss and damage fund is how these countries are going to be aggregated, how the money is going to be connected, and how those decisions are going to be made. So a two-part question. One is, how would you like to see that set up? Because obviously this is part of the international negotiations at the moment. And second, where do you see the roadblocks or pinch points towards the kind of funding that you've called for, both for adaptation and for loss and damage? Because it might be structural, it might be institutional, it might be personal, it might be national. Where do you personally see those pinch points? Thanks.
I think this is, it has got different levels of commitment that has to come from emitters. I mean, for example, United States and big countries, the OECD. They can directly help the small countries, small island countries, and others affected by grant assistance or even debt to nature. Options have been discussed, green bonds and so on. Different options have been discussed, blue bond and so on. we are ready to accept anything that's going to save us. I mean, we have serious debt issues as well, all these small island states. We are partners of this. Of course, we are not even playing a big part in emitting, but still we are partners, and we are here to play a responsible role. And the loss and damage fund really needs to come into effect now before it's too late.
Hello, good afternoon, Mr. President. My name is Nikhil. I have two questions for you. The first question is, given your experience in the private sector and working with that, I was wondering what motivated you specifically to enter into public service? And my second question is, so historically, the Maldives has received international criticism over their actions towards LGBTQIA members. So I was wondering, what is your opinion of this, and where do you see LGBTQ-related policy going forward under your government?
Okay. The first question, how I got motivated to go into public service. I always want to do my best in doing something with that will bring a real difference to the people. And my father was all in the public service at a very high level at the government. So it was my inspiration. So when I finished my education, I joined a political party to see how it's not only through politics you can help the country. You can become. I was practicing engineering as an engineer on full-time basis before I joined politics. So there's different ways you can help the country. But I thought that through the political system, the impact you can bring if you really are honest and sincere and want to do something that can really be of a big difference. That's the way forward. So that's why I chose to do that, especially because my father was he was there for a long time doing good service for the country. So that's how. The second question, Maldives is an Islamic country. We have Islamic rules, and the Maldives constitution very, very clearly says how it should be. So we abide by our constitution.
Thank you so much.
Hi, thank you so much for your time here today. And I just wanted to go back on the topic of climate change. And so as an Australian citizen, climate change is a very important issue in the Asia Pacific. And you mentioned about how the Maldives is using a lot of in-situ adaptation and mitigation strategies to prevent the impact of climate change. But in the possible reality that despite all of these efforts, sea level rise will cause displacement, and that there will be some form of environmental injustice arising from climate change emissions. How do you envision the role of the polluters in perhaps giving reparations or perhaps taking in climate migrants from your country? Do you think that environmental justice can ever be achieved in this possible reality?
Thank you for that very nice question. First of all, I believe sea level rise is an ongoing process, but we are ready to do whatever. We have been doing everything we can to stay in our country, and I believe that the Maldives will be there. We sometimes talk about migrating to some other country. There has been that talk in the past, but of course, some islands are getting their shoreline is going away much faster than before. But in overall, the Maldives is going to be safe. I mean, we are going to adapt. We are going to build into this. And definitely, the Maldives is going to be the where it is. All the Maldivians, we believe this. I mean, if we are going to say we are going to sink and go to another country, then we don't have any purpose of building onto the future. And for that, we need support, definitely. On our own, we cannot do things. That's the point. We are very adamant and we are very determined to strive and struggle. For thousands of years, we have been doing this. The Maldivians are very determined people. And and I'm sure we'll get the support. I answered another question. We are very optimistic with the support we are seeing from the international community, the donors and agencies. And we are very, very certain about the support that we are going to get in taking action. And I said about 20-year development plan. In that national development plan, the goal is to have regional centers in which the people are going to have the highest level of living standard provided to them. So these urban centers with safe island concept, the artificial island Malé is a very safe island that we are going to develop, where 65,000 housing units will be provided, accommodation facility and so on. And so these kind of ambitious projects are there that we need support. And it's realistic, but the support should be there. And I'm also optimistic about that. So definitely the concern is there, but with the support of the whole community, whole world, and taking us as partners, not only us, every small island development state, definitely it will work out.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your questions. I'm sorry if you didn't get the chance to put your question, but if I can ask you all just to stay seated for a moment, there is going to be a focus on you. I think there are some photographs going to be taken from the front of the room. If you can just stay where you are. But while you're sitting, please put your hands together and say a very warm thank you to the President of the Maldives. I think also in the current climate that we're living in, the nature of the conversation that we've had today, there is so much that is bleak and potentially deeply dispiriting and despairing, but it is really quite heartening to sit with a head of state who is both determined and seemingly relentlessly optimistic. So we are grateful for that. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. President. Thank you. Thanks for being with us.
Just one thing, very short message. If there's a will, there's a way. You should have that.